What's up guys, it's James from FishStakes and we are back on Flight Sim for a bit of a fun video. Today, the date of upload, it is the day of the Champions League final. It's Liverpool versus Real Madrid in the Stade de France in Paris. So we're going to be replicating that journey here in Flight Sim, and of course that means we begin our journey in the beautiful city of Liverpool. We're here at the famous Liver building and we'll soon be zooming off over to the home of the mighty Reds at Anfield. So here we are at Anfield, guys. Of course, it's the home stadium of Liverpool Football Club, and we have looked at this stadium before in Flight Sim, but just to quickly overview it, it looks incredible. It was added in the England and Great Britain update. I think it was one of the first updates that came free for Flight Sim, and yeah, they added in a bunch of stadiums as they always do. Anfield was one of them. It's perfectly recreated, as is the city of Liverpool. Looks absolutely insane. But of course, Anfield is not an airport, so we do need to get ourselves over to Liverpool's John Lennon Airport to kick this flight off. We zoom over the Liverpool skyline, straight to John Lennon Airport. Now, if you were after a tutorial, stay tuned. Once we hit cruising altitude, I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about what this video really is. So, here we are at John Lennon Airport. We've got the yellow submarine. Again, this has been really quite faithfully recreated. It's only a small airport, but I love the fact they put the yellow submarine in. Liverpool's John Lennon Airport. Here we go. Over to our plane. It's ready on the runway. Everyone's on board, and we're all ready to travel to France for this final. We're traveling on the A320 today, and of course we're going to travel with Air France because we are going to Paris. So as I said, everyone is on board. We're going to jump on this flight and we are going to get ready for takeoff. Here we go. We're off the ground and our journey begins from Liverpool to Paris. We're traveling to the Charles de Gaulle Airport in France, which is just outside of Paris itself and a stone's throw away from the Stade de France, which of course is our venue for today's game. Just sorting our auto throttle and our autopilot out here. Let the plane take control. And I'm not going to bore you with the entire flight, of course, but I will be throwing in a couple of my sort of favourite views from the flight as we go along. So you'll see a little bit of England, you'll see a little bit of France, and eventually we'll touch down at our target destination. But while you do look over some of these views that I've picked out, I do want to talk a little bit more about what this video really is, because I did say it is a tutorial in disguise. So, if you play Flight Sim on Xbox, and I know a lot of our audience do, there is actually a feature on Xbox which I'm sure by now you are aware of. If the movement looks erratic, by the way, this part of the video is sped up. So I'm sure you are aware of this feature on Xbox, and that is Xbox Quick Resume. So Xbox Quick Resume is a feature on the console that essentially allows you to have multiple games running at the same time, and you can very quickly switch between them. Now what that means for Flight Sim is we can actually, in a way, implement Flight Sim into whatever game we see fit, whatever your favorite games might be. If they include traveling, you can sort of implement Flight Sim in. Now the comment we got was a long time ago, but I did get this idea from a comment on one of our videos. I apologize if it was you and you're watching, but I couldn't find the comment. It was so long ago and I've tried going back and finding it, but I couldn't. But anyway, they basically said that they play the F1 game on Xbox, and between races, if they have to travel to a different country for a race, they'd like to jump on Flight Sim and do that flight themselves. And I thought that's a really cool idea and a really cool way to give yourself an objective in Flight Sim and at the same time give the game a little bit more life and implement it into other games. So I was thinking, what other games have travel? And the perfect one for me as a football fan was FIFA. So of course, if you're in the European competitions or the world competitions, internationals, you do a lot of traveling, and I thought, well, that's sort of the perfect game because it means we can travel from one country to another on flight sim, travel straight to the stadium, and then quick resume straight back over to FIFA in order to play the game. So we are going to actually be doing that today. Once we arrive in Paris, we will be jumping over to FIFA in order to kick off the Champions League final. But for now, I'm going to let you sit back, relax, and enjoy some of these views. There was quite a lot of air traffic on this flight, I noticed, which I actually thought was really cool. I don't often fly across country in England, so this is probably more common than I've realised before, but it made for a really cool atmosphere while flying. Actually, there was times where there were multiple other planes on screen at the same time. It was really, really cool, so I do recommend actually jumping on and doing some flights across England. You could do Scotland down to London or something fun like that, especially if you are one of our American viewers. You might not have gotten yourself out to the UK, so you can see some sights at the same time. Here we are just entering French airspace now. Thought I'd include this one just as we sort of come in along the coast here into France. Some of the views is France as we are coming in for our landing now. Charles de Gaulle Airport, not far out, and this was actually a really enjoyable flight, I have to say. It's one of those flights you can actually do in one sitting realistically, because it's not the longest flight in the world. So if you are looking for a flight that you do want to do in one sitting, realistically fly the whole way there yourself as though you were, you know, charting a flight in real life, this is certainly one you could do anywhere from England really over to Paris. Of course, this is Liverpool John Lennon Airport to Charles de Gaulle in Paris if you wanted to recreate it.
1000.
And here we are now coming in for our landing. Get our final look at France as we come down. It's actually my first time landing in this airport as well, so some really nice views. Took some time to check that out. If you guys are new to Flight Sim and you would like a tutorial on landing, we do have those, especially for the A320 that I'm flying right now, and a link for all of that good stuff will be in the description. But for now, we're just enjoying the views, taking it in, and we're on our way to that Champions League final.
40, 30, 20, retard.
So we've touched down in Paris and we'll be in touch with ATC shortly to get us to our gate and get these Liverpool fans off this plane and on their way to the Stade de France. Taxiing was actually really busy at Charles de Gaulle, but we know why that is. It's Champions League final day. Of course there's going to be tons of flights because there are plenty of Scousers on their way over to Paris. So we've arrived at our gate. We're at Terminal 1, Charles de Gaulle Airport. And we just need to connect our jetway now and get these fans off and get them on their way. Make sure you switch your engine off, contact ATC, request the jetway, and these guys can be on their way. So that's it for their journey. Jetway's connected. We're at Terminal 1, but that is not it for our journey. So of course, we're going to jump in a little Cessna and we're going to take ourselves from Charles de Gaulle straight to the Stade de France itself. Get there just in time for this final. Let's get ourselves off the ground. It's not often I fly these smaller planes, but by the way, if you are still watching and you would like some tutorials on the Cessnas, we do have some FishStakes members that prefer the smaller planes, and I'm sure they'd be more than happy to jump on and get some tutorials out for these things. Just let us know in the comments. So here we are at the stadium. As I said earlier in the video, it's only a stone's throw away from the airport, so we've arrived fairly quickly, and this point is where we take advantage of the Xbox's quick resume function. We're going to be diving straight into FIFA, and you'll see we've arrived just in time for this Champions League final.
This is Derek Ray in the commentary position, and I'm joined as always on these big occasions by Stuart Robson. It is Liverpool facing Real Madrid.
Well, Derek, it doesn't come any better than this, does it? This has the makings of an absolute classic. These are two brilliant teams, and at the moment, I can't separate them.
So that's it, guys. It's the end of our journey. We've come all the way from the home of Liverpool Football Club at Anfield straight to the Stade de France in Paris for the Champions League final. It's Liverpool versus Real Madrid. Absolute mammoth match. If you are a Red, enjoy the final. Let's hope we get the result we all want. I'm going to leave things there. I've been James. This has been Flight Sim. Up the Reds.